Losing a good man rarely announces itself with drama or chaos. It doesn't come with loud confrontations, explosive arguments, or sudden heartbreak. Instead, it unfolds quietly, leaving an absence that is deeply felt, even if it isn't immediately recognized. What disappears is not just a partner, it is a sense of stability, trust, and emotional safety that once felt ordinary but was truly extraordinary. Good men are consistent. They invest emotionally without keeping score. They provide reliability, calm, and presence in a world that often thrives on uncertainty and emotional highs. These qualities are easy to take for granted when they are present, because calm, steady love rarely demands attention. Yet when it's gone, its value becomes unmistakably clear. This video is not about blame or fault. It's not a guide for seeking revenge or rekindling lost connections. It is about understanding the emotional truths that emerge when a good man is lost. It is about the subtle, lasting impact of his absence, the quiet recognition that certain kinds of love, once broken, are not easily restored. In the moments after a good man is gone, fear begins to emerge, not the kind born from excitement or drama, but a deeper, quieter fear. The fear of losing something that cannot be replaced, the fear of what it means to have missed a rare kind of love. Over time, these fears reveal themselves in reflection, comparison, and a growing awareness of what was once present but is no longer attainable. Emotional safety is one of the rarest gifts a person can offer, yet it is often overlooked in the midst of passion and excitement. Good men provide a sense of calm, predictability, and stability that doesn't demand attention or create drama. To the untrained eye, this calm can feel boring compared to the intensity of emotional highs and uncertainties. But the truth is, emotional safety is far more valuable than fleeting excitement. It is the foundation of trust, comfort, and long-lasting connection. When a good man shows up consistently, listens without defensiveness, and invests in the relationship without keeping score, his presence becomes a refuge. It lowers anxiety instead of increasing it. And because it is steady, consistent, and quiet, it often goes unnoticed until it disappears. Many women, in the moment, may mistake this stability for a lack of passion or chemistry, failing to recognize that it is precisely this calm that allows love to thrive over time. The absence of emotional safety is subtle but powerful. It does not arrive immediately with the end of a relationship. It unfolds slowly, creeping into awareness through comparison with other connections. New relationships may feel exciting at first, filled with unpredictability and intense emotional spikes. Yet over time, patterns of inconsistency and unavailability emerge. The memory of the good man's steady presence returns, not as nostalgia, but as contrast. The realization is not simply, I miss him, it is, I don't feel this kind of security anywhere else. This fear, the fear of losing emotional safety, is quiet but persistent. It is not about loneliness or longing for the man himself. It is about missing the calm, predictable love that allowed one to be fully present, to express themselves without fear, and to trust in the consistency of care. Emotional safety creates a benchmark. Once it is gone, every future connection is measured against it. And because it is rare, the absence becomes unmistakable, slowly revealing just how valuable that love truly was. Ultimately, emotional safety is a silent standard that shapes perception and expectation. It does not demand attention, create chaos, or call for drama. It simply exists, and when it disappears, the fear of its loss becomes one of the most lasting emotional consequences of losing a good man. The second fear emerges gradually, often in moments that feel small but carry immense weight. It begins when a woman realizes that some damage cannot be undone, not because apologies were absent, but because trust, once deeply broken, does not respond to words alone. A good man, when hurt beyond a certain point, does not retaliate or demand confrontation. He withdraws, not as punishment, but as a measure of self-preservation. This detachment is permanent. He does not close himself off to manipulate or to teach a lesson. He does it to protect his peace. Emotional access, once freely given, is now quietly revoked. Apologies may arrive, but they fall on a surface that no longer absorbs them. Politeness replaces warmth, calm replaces connection. Forgiveness may remove hostility, but it does not restore the closeness that once existed. For someone hoping for reconciliation, this is profoundly unsettling. The permanence of this loss becomes painfully clear in comparisons with future relationships. Excitement may still exist with new partners, unpredictability, intensity, emotional highs, but slowly inconsistencies emerge. Words no longer align with actions. Emotional unavailability surfaces. The reliability and calm that were once taken for granted now feel absent. The good man's presence was not just a part of the relationship, it was a standard, a benchmark for emotional stability. This is the moment the fear deepens, the realization that some connections are irreplaceable. It is not longing for the person per se, but the absence of the feelings he created: safety, trust, and unspoken care. These qualities, once lost, cannot simply be replicated. No matter how much time passes or how many lessons are learned, the awareness lingers. A good man cannot be replaced because his consistency, patience, and emotional presence are rare. The pain of this realization is compounded by self-reflection. Women often recognize, in hindsight, that they occupied a place in his life defined not by love alone, but by the wounds caused through missteps. There is no dramatic closure, no opportunity to negotiate or restore what was lost. The emotional imprint remains, a quiet reminder that the opportunity to preserve trust and closeness existed, but was missed. Ultimately, this fear is not about wanting to reclaim the relationship. It is about confronting permanence. It is about understanding that emotional access and genuine stability are gifts that, once broken, leave lasting consequences. Comparison in future relationships becomes inevitable, as the mind and heart measure every interaction against a standard that cannot be matched. A good man's love leaves a benchmark, and when it is mishandled, the lesson is carried quietly, enduring long after the relationship itself has ended. The third fear is the one that lasts the longest, because it comes not from memory or imagination, but from reality. It emerges when a woman witnesses a good man moving forward, calm, grounded, and emotionally whole. This fear is not born from anger, jealousy, or longing. It is born from the quiet understanding that he has rebuilt his life without her, and in doing so, he has grown stronger and more self-contained. When a man heals after being hurt, his growth is not loud or performative. He does not broadcast his progress to provoke regret. He channels his pain into self-improvement, boundaries, and clarity. Over time, he becomes less reactive, more selective, and more attuned to protecting his peace. What was once freely accessible, his attention, his emotional presence, his care, is now guarded. Access is no longer automatic. It requires alignment and respect. The realization that she no longer holds that central place in his life is often unsettling. The narrative that one might have believed, that hurting him caused permanent disruption, crumbles. Instead, she sees that he has adapted, evolved, and thrived. His growth becomes a mirror, reflecting not what was lost, but what was outgrown. The fear lies in the quiet acknowledgement: she may never again hold that position in his life, and no apology or explanation can change that. This fear also reveals a deeper truth about timing and personal choices. Effort delayed is often effort denied, and some lessons arrive too late to prevent loss. By the time recognition occurs, the door that could have preserved closeness is already closed. Emotional neutrality, politeness, distance, and calm signals finality. Unlike dramatic breakups filled with chaos and repeated cycles of conflict, this ending offers no illusion, no negotiation, and no leverage. The relationship has moved into the past, and the emotional access that once existed is no longer available. In future relationships, this fear resurfaces quietly. She may notice herself comparing emotional safety, consistency, and maturity. The memory of his presence becomes a standard, a benchmark against which all others are measured. She may feel an enduring ache, not because she desires him again, but because she recognizes that she missed an opportunity to grow alongside someone rare and consistent. Ultimately, this fear is a lesson in permanence and self-awareness. A good man does not leave chaos in his wake. He leaves standards. He demonstrates through action that self-respect, emotional consistency, and integrity are non-negotiable. Once these standards are established, access is earned, not assumed. And for those who mishandled that love, the impact is lasting. A quiet, reflective, and sometimes haunting awareness that some opportunities do not come twice. Good men do not leave behind chaos, anger, or dramatic scars. They leave behind standards, quiet, enduring, and unmistakable. Emotional safety, trust, consistency, and integrity do not demand attention, yet they quietly shape expectations and set benchmarks that carry forward into every future connection. For men, the lesson is clear. Your value is not measured by who stays when you tolerate disrespect, but by who remains when you uphold your boundaries. Becoming distant after being hurt is not weakness, it is self-preservation. Growth after pain is not revenge, it is clarity. Access to your emotional world is a privilege, not an entitlement. For women, the truth is equally profound. Not every lesson comes with a second chance. Some people enter your life to teach you what stability, calm, and respect feel like, not to remain forever. And recognizing the rarity of that presence too late becomes one of life's quiet regrets. The reality is simple yet powerful. Good men do not vanish. They transform. And the standards they leave behind are enduring, guiding both growth and reflection. Once set, they do not fade, and the absence of those standards is a subtle yet permanent reminder of what was lost.